And we are live. All right. So what we're looking at here, we got S&P 500 selling off early morning. We had some good GDP numbers though. So growth is improving, and we have growth improving while prices, so GDP prices are actually coming down. So non-inflationary while growth continues to improve. Very bullish for the market. And yeah, I think this is still the setup. This is still the bullish setup we've been looking for. Things are going better than expected. I'm still eyeing Tesla. We just got a pullback in a previous day close and a nice support off that level. So looking at that 1 minute chart, as I zoom in here, you see, look at that push. Look at that nice push. Once we break this trend, we're gonna have we're looking for, I'm looking for the break of this trend. We already had the push initially off the level, right? Off of PDC. We might have a retest now on the right-hand side. Now, this might even be better, so we can keep the S&P, at least keep the S&P. Wow, look at that candle. I didn't even see that. We want to keep the S&P in our eye, because when the S&P breaks out, it's going to carry the market higher. And it looks like maybe we'll go NASDAQ, but it looks like so far it is looking pretty good. So we'll definitely, oh, look at that. Look at that push. Nice push there. So Tesla's going to break this trend. We should see volume start to come into the market. It was good GDP, good macro. We had good macro. What up? Good morning. Good morning. Shout out to the chat. Let's see if this works today. How you guys doing this morning, man? I know those of you who are in open door, what up? Fibonacci Poppy, Dimaj, Sagi, bro, IWM exploding this morning. We got the explosion on IWM. Big move to the upside. Open door. If you guys were in open door, we'd been talking about that for a while. It is breaking out over the big daily market trend. I'm still looking at ZM, staying a little patient. I missed open door. I got out too early, got faked out, but it's all good. Whoa. No, we don't need no connection errors. So, oh man. So I battled, I've been trying to get into Tesla with shares. I'm already in options a couple times and just didn't work out. But this is the opportunity again. This gap down right back into yesterday's support is perfect. Okay. I know I'm always looking at Tesla, but again, this is a great narrative. Also, I'm looking at AMD. I'm looking at AMD too. AMD finally is breaking the bigger term trend. Let me just make sure I have this charted out. We finally got AMD making the big term trend. How you guys doing this morning? Tesla shorts got grilled yesterday. Yeah, 249, 250. Yeah, they got smoked, bro. They got smoked in after hours for 2 days in a row now. 2 days in a row now, they're getting smoked. Let's see. NVIDIA, AMD. I'm keeping my eye on AMD. Just filled that gap to the downside. For a swing trade, though, I'm looking at AMD for a swing trade. 2021, I'm sorry, 2023, 2024 calls, my bad. Here we go. Here's a setup on Tesla, right at those pre-market lows. Computer's a little slow. This should have been the first ad. I missed it though, trying to get prepared. No excuses. Other than that, now it's starting to show that bull flag. So we should get above this level. We're holding that on the 1 minute anyway. We're holding that EMA. I want to see the 9 cross above, right? To get confirmation, I want to see the 9 cross above the 21 EMA. So 9 cross above the 21 with a pullback into that level. We're not out of the clear yet on S&P 500. We're still watching it. It is climbing higher. And on the left-hand side, you could see the other way. Actually, you know what I'll do? I'm going to put either Dow or in this window, now that I have SPY on the right, I'm going to either put Dow or IS. What do you guys want to see? Dow or IWM? Maybe IWM. So we can see the small cap rotation, right? Look at IWM just moving. Oh man, this thing is slow today. My connection should be good. I don't know what it is. Maybe there's so much volume into the market. We are seeing record inflows, by the way, record retail inflows for the past week coming into the market. Record retail inflows. Man, I like that move off of that 9 EMA. 7 o'clock. We just got pending home sales too. So that was the last data. That was also the data. We'll take a look at that data really quick. I just don't want to miss this entry. I want to see how the market reacts to this entry. Don't want to miss it. Been trading Tesla the last couple days. All right, let's see. It looks solid. We're getting a pullback into that. Okay, I'm a little early, 258. I'm in a little early at 258, but it looks like we're moving higher. I'm in at 258. Here we go. Obviously, I got my stop below the 1 minute EMAs. Maybe it's not completely legit, but this seems to be the pre-market low. Anyway, man, my computer is slow. Sorry about that. It's probably lagging on here. So, anyways, the narrative being no recession. Oh, there we go. S&P is moving. Okay, S&P moving, breaking the pre. Well, I don't know if that's pre-market highs, but it is yesterday's lows. Look, the trend is being broken right now. The market is on fire. The trend is being broken. We pulled in, and I'll pull this up on the macro scale. We pulled into we basically downtrend we had a downtrend on the S&P and we broke that downtrend. So I think the bottom is in until something else surprises us. The bottom is in. Now we're getting more bullish price act not bullish macro. We're getting more bullish macro. GDP is coming in stronger. And at the same time, prices are coming down. I still think inflation collapses. If you want to know more about that, why inflation collapses, subscribe to the newsletter. I'm coming out with that actually kind of early. I think I'm going to send it out tomorrow, a little early. For certain reasons, I might send that out early. But either way, yeah, what I want to do is I want to get the PCE data in before I send it out. So I'll get that PCE data in, then we'll come out Friday evening, the actual report. But yeah, Tesla shares looking strong. Okay, so let's check out the macro. I'm gonna keep my eye on this, and then let's check out that macro, those macro charts. See if I can do this quick. Got to get used to this. Virgin Galactic first flight to space next hour. So let's getting a lot of attention. Oh yeah, SPCE getting a lot of attention there, huh? Okay, here we go. Here comes a retest. Here goes a retest for Tesla. Big market pullback. Big market pullback. See if we capitulate here. Man, I missed that one. Should have had a tight stop there. It's all right. Let's see what we're looking at. Looks like we're pulling right back into PDC. If we dump further, oh, you know what? Dang, we're dumping quick, huh? All right, let's get that bounce, and then let's get that capitulation bounce first. That was nasty. That was completely nasty. We're below VWAP. Look at that candle. Wow, and SPY too. All right, back into 255. Here comes the pull in. So yeah, this is pretty bearish. I already got caught. I got caught there. So what I want to wait for is for things to pull back up. What is that? What the heck just came out? I know we had pending home sales. Let's see, what is it? What do we got coming in? Negative 2.7 versus what? They're weak for the month. Month over month was weak. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, we'll take a look at space. We will take a look at space. That was a nasty candle. What a that got caught up pretty nasty there. Okay. That's fine. Looks like we're gonna pull in a little deeper. Man, that was bad risk management on my part. Very bad risk management. And we are right below 257. 257 was a big support. Okay, here comes the bounce on SPY. There could have been some nasty news on Tesla. Not sure, but we're getting the bounce in SPY. So we should get this bounce on Tesla. And then I can exit because something had changed. Something has changed in the market. I don't know what it is yet. We will take a look at Virgin. All right, so yeah, there we go. SPY starting to bounce. Man, Tesla's getting smashed. Was it specific news for Tesla? Was it delivery numbers? Not sure, but it's getting crushed pretty bad. Now SPY's getting rejected by PDC. Man, somebody, yeah, a lot of people got caught, including myself. Big sell off there. Qs. I mean, we'll have a bounce. That's it's such a nasty candle. I mean, doesn't look like it from the SPY point of view, but that's such a nasty candle. Let me take a look back real quick, see what's going on here. I know something probably hit the market. And then we'll also take a look at space. All right. See, do we get anything hot on Twitter? Breaking news. This would be the breaking news. I think it's just pending. Well, that's already priced in. Pending home sales. 76 versus 79. A little weak. We'll take a look at that coming up. But anyways, yeah, back to these prices, back to this downside. Let's look at Virgin. I haven't looked at this for a while. SPCE getting smashed coming up pre-market. Yeah, this thing has been getting crushed every single time they have on the bottom here. Every time that they have I used to trade this. We used to invest in it like last year, a couple years ago, and they just failed all their flights. Their flights just it's really tough to get it's really tough for this type of business to work. You got to really take some risk. Plus, Chamath pulled out. Chamath Palihapitiya, however you want to say his name. Chamath, big boy Chamath pulled out. AMD pulling back to PDC. Well, there's an entry for AMD. We should have an entry there for AMD. So we'll take a look at that. I'm trying to figure out what just hit the market. Something hit the market pretty bad. And S&P is really just coming back to the open. There we go. There's the bounce. I think we're going to find support here. Whew. Man, that was a flush, though. Right back to the pre-market zone. So here's your pre-market zone. That was a big flush. That was a big flush. And that's why you don't that's why if you're trading options, you got to be careful. So here we go. Here's the bounce on Tesla. Obviously, if we can't get above PDC, I'm out. Got caught on in SPY. Yeah, dude, that was a nasty flush. I know a lot of people got caught on that. I'm trying to figure out what it was. Somebody throw it up in the chat if you see what it was, but that was a nasty flash. I don't know what that was. Nasty flash to the downside. That's where you have a hard stop, but it's tough to have a hard stop if that's not your trading style. Okay, here goes. Let's see what the Qs are looking like really quick. Qs right below. Yeah, this is pretty bearish. Now let's take a quick look backwards. Let's see how good does this chart look. I might do this side by side. It might be better side by side. I think this is too open. Let me switch this up to side by side. Okay, there we go. All right, that looks a little better. And then let me close this a little bit. There we go. So same thing. Let me get Tesla in here. Keep an eye on this. It should bounce. I mean, it's not, it's not like it has to bounce, but usually when we get that sharp of a sell-off, we do bounce. All right. So Qs, what we're really doing, I believe, is we are just pulling back. Oh, there it is. We're just pulling back into the trend. We broke the uptrend, right? I'm sorry. We broke the downtrend for the Qs and the S&P. And here's that downtrend that we've been looking at, right? So we broke this downtrend finally. And I think we're just trying to pull back into support. Now, could we come all the way back to 350, 750, 100%? We could. We could definitely come back to that level. So we are watching the previous support for the S&P, looking at the overall market. Let me see where it's at. We're getting some support coming into the market. Now, IWM is still hot. There's actually a setup right now. I can see it. IWM is setting up pretty well. Dow is pretty hot. Big flush on the Q. So big flush out of tech. Big flush out of tech. S&P is a little, I think S&P is easier to see what's going on. S&P needs to hold yesterday's levels. Let's see. All right, I'm looking at a different chart as we speak right now. AMD has to hold 111. All right, yeah, let's take a look at that AMD. Okay, here goes Tesla pulling right back up into PDC. Okay, that's your PDC right there. I don't know how this dark view looks. Anyways, here's the Qs. The Qs are pulling up, are not pulling up. They're trying to find previous support after we broke the trend, pulling back, trying to find support. Okay, and actually, I like the 30-minute a little better. Let's go to that 30-minute view. Yesterday's lows, we just flushed below yesterday's lows. That's not great. Actually, no, we didn't. No, we didn't. We still got yesterday's lows set. So yesterday's lows were 361.80, 362. And maybe we're just pulling back to check yesterday's lows. That could be it, right? But overall, the GDP numbers were pretty strong. Here comes Tesla starting to rave right back up. Starting to push there. Okay, I'm going to switch back. I'm going to switch back until so I can exit this if I need to. Let me see. StreamYard. I like StreamYard. It's good. It's nice. It works pretty well. I just got to get used to it. All right, here we go. Here we go. There's the pull in. There's the pull in. All right, so if we get rejected here, then I mean this is really bearish. Actually, this PDC is pretty clear. PDC, we either get above PDC or we don't, right? SPY. There's that 30-minute chart on the spies. And we had a big gap up in the morning. Big gap up in the morning. Big gap up in the morning. We're pulling back to PDC. It flushed a little lower than expected, but it's still holding yesterday's lows. We're still holding that 435 level. That was kind of the level to get long on. Okay. We're getting rejected a little bit here. 5-year yields. I know yields are surging. That's one thing that we need to take a look at is these yields starting to surge. Let me take a look at yields really quick because that's part of the macro view. Dollar starting to surge a bit. Okay, so we got the dollar moving up and bond yields. I'll pull those in. But yeah, the dollar's moving up after that GDP stronger than expected report. Got the dollar moving higher. 10 years at the 10, that's what's going on. The yields are breaking out. The bond market is selling off after that report. So we need further weakness for this to come back down in the economy. Did the VIX spike also? We got a big VIX spike to 16. That's the highest level we've seen for a while since June, middle of June. So a couple weeks. Early June. So the VIX is back up to 16. Makes sense. VIX is back to 16. All right. Just want to take a look over here at these macro levels. AMD is showing some support at PDC though. We'll see if the market really cares that much. Oil is at 70. I know Bitcoin had a nice push this morning also. Still consolidating at those highs, those 430 highs. Okay, cool. Well, just didn't want to take a look at that. So yeah, if you do use TOS, you can look at TNX. TNX is your yields, and we have yields surging. Basically, bond yields or the cost of capital are starting to break out to the upside. Now, what that means is that, and this is one of the negative forces. This will hold us down for a while. If the cost of capital keeps surging, and basically what's going on here is the Fed, because those numbers were higher than expected, those GDP numbers, even though it's a good thing, it's kind of a bad thing and a good thing at the same time. Who wins out, right? Better growth, non-recession, or more rate hikes? I think the market just, digests this higher growth as better margins or better revenue, better growth, but higher cost of capital. And so it's really going to come down to the Fed if they're going to hike. So these are moving higher in anticipation that the Fed is now more likely to hike in July. But we already knew that. The market was already pricing in a hike. So it's probably just maybe no cuts. We'll check that data. Anyways, that's sort of what I think is going on. You got the dollar starting to surge, DXY, and it's not like really breaking out significantly, but the dollar's moving up a little bit. And more than anything, there might just be a rotation, right? Those as rates rise, that actually puts more negativity on riskier assets like Tesla, Bitcoin, Amazon. These growth stocks are they do a lot better when rates fall. So rates rising is more negative pressure for riskier assets. And the Dow and IWM are still moving up, so they don't really care. So back to S&P. Right, the Qs might get hit on this pretty hard, but the S&P should not. The S&P should be solid because obviously it's going to hold a lot more market breadth, less tech, even though it's still pretty tech heavy. Looks like we're close. And look at if we really just take a clear view on this, it looks like the S&P filled this gap. Oh, what is this? SPXY. What is this? I've never even seen this. SPYX. Huh. Well, that's new. That was an accident. That was an accident. Anyways, SPY, looks like we're really just filling this gap that was put in on the 21st. So we almost filled it here. Yesterday, we did fill it yesterday. We got rejected. And now we're filling that gap. Looks like we're going to push through it, though, regardless of that pullback, that nasty pullback. Who knows where it came from? White House official says reviewing Supreme Court decision on affirmative action. I don't think anything is too serious here. Federal Trade Commission announces update on advertising guides to combat deceptive reviews on endorsements, blah, blah, blah. Nobody cares. Maybe it was just an algo to the downside, because other than that, everything looks pretty bullish other than those yields, starting to move up. Right, let's get back into that price action. All right, so Tesla is starting to recover now, but we still might get rejected by PDC on Tesla. We'll see. We'll see what happens here. That was a pretty nasty flush, but we need to get above 257 to really hold. All right. Now, SPY right back to that, right back to that demand zone or supply zone this morning. Obviously, we got that supply zone, or AKA resistance. I just call it resistance, a lot more simple. We got that resistance zone at 437. It looks like 437-ish, a little above 437. We'll see if we get above that. Looks like we're still getting rejected. Another higher low here. But IWM is still moving up. All right, IWM is still moving higher. So that's good. Now, AMD, I'm looking at AMD. AMD is holding that 110 level right off of a PDC, right off the previous day close. So when you have a big gap up like this, big gap up, after that big wedge breakout, we had a wedge breakout yesterday. IWM call instead of trying to mess with SPY. Oh, you're trying to mess with SPY? Yeah, bro. I feel you. It gets a little messy sometimes. I'm right now, lately, I'm learning to just stick with my plan because I see other stuff. I'm getting a little bit of FOMO, but my plan is to be long ZM and to find an entry point for AMD. And yeah, I'm getting a little FOMO on Tesla because I'm short Tesla at the same time. But got to stick with the plan. And I'll talk about that later. Either way, open door, same thing with open door, right? Open door is exploding. And if I would have just stuck with that plan, I would have been in profit pretty nice right now. Open door, we got in at like 290 and now it's at 420. And didn't stick with that either. So sticking with your original plan, just waiting it through, not getting FOMO. It happens to the best of them. It happens to everybody. It's not abnormal. You just got to learn from your mistakes. The market is constantly changing. It's reacting to negative news, then it's reacting to positive news, both on the upside. So we might get some negative news, market goes higher. We might get positive news, market goes higher. It's like, what? It's going higher either way, and then all of a sudden that switches up on you. So, or some days are up quick. We see everything get digested in the morning, and then sometimes it doesn't digest till the second half of the day. So also, what is, how is the market moving according to the news? Anyways, I think the big news is that recessionary fears are disappearing. Therefore, we see bond yields, so the cost of capital from the bond market picking up. See if AMD can get above VWAP. So yeah, we clearly need to get above 437.25 ish on the S&P. Clearly need to get above that level. I'll throw this on the 5 minute so we get the noise out. Look at those wicks. And at the same time, we have the Qs selling off. So the Qs are selling off pretty hard. They're in a downtrend. People are probably maybe shorting the Qs, collecting profit. This is just in the short term, though. The real estate live last night was top tier, by the way. Appreciate you for setting up. Hey, 100%. If you guys want me to do a podcast or do a deep dive, I'll be happy to get a guest on. My other resources are technology. So my brother's a software engineer. He can go over blockchain, chain link a little bit, some crypto. What is Bitcoin? From a macro perspective is usually what I do, but from a technical perspective, we can go over Bitcoin and Ethereum. That's my other resource there because he's a software engineer. He knows how to actually explain that stuff much smarter than I am when it comes to that. Okay, we got the Q starting to bid up a little bit. Maybe that was some scary news. Open door moving up. But yeah, no, I'm glad you guys enjoyed that. I'm glad you guys enjoyed that. And it's there to stay. So if you want to go look through it, you can look through it again to see a little bit about what we talked about. I'll have that guy on again, Art. We'll have him on again to talk real estate strategy. I'm not a real estate guy at all, but he's been doing it for a while, so he has a lot of experience under his belt, and he knows what he's talking about. All right, IWM. Here, let me show IWM on the right side. IWM. And that was a nice push on IWM, though. If we just go back to the longer term chart, actually, let me throw on my computer's kind of slow today. But if we go back to the gap strategy chart, because I want to get this pre-market off, IWM is ripping. So market breadth still in the market. I think we as soon as this thing is done ripping higher or starts to slow down, then we probably get that rotation back into the Qs. Unless rates are IWM wouldn't be moving up either if rates were such an issue because these are small caps and they're very sensitive to interest rates. Obviously, because newer companies or starter companies are going to be very sensitive to how much it costs to borrow money. And then Dow ripping up too, found some support and ripping higher than the last previous days. The last macro data we have that's important is going to be that PCE data tomorrow, and we'll see if it's below or above expectations. All right, let's get SPY back on this. Oops, no, not that one. Let's go to the 3-minute. Check out the 3-minute here on SPY. All right, cool. So no downtrend yet on the SPY. No downtrend yet. One thing to remember, we are still holding the highs. I think we're holding the highs from yesterday. So we're still in bullish territory. What were yesterday's highs? Yesterday's highs got up to 437, 437.20. So, well, I guess we're getting rejected by yesterday's highs, right? We're getting rejected by yesterday's highs in the short term. We did gap above that in the morning. That's why I always like to see the pre-market. If we get above 438, then we're back to the bull. We're back into bullish territory. We haven't made a new low on the day yet. All right, IWM starting to rise again. Man, IWM is strong. Small caps are pretty strong. Dow still consolidating at the highs. Qs selling off. Qs are weak today. Qs are pretty weak today. Qs are weak today. This thing looks like it's about to collapse. Qs are just rolling over. So now that we got this retracement for Tesla, I'm out. I mean, that was bad risk management on my point in the first for the first in the first place. Very bad risk management, but I wanted to see if it could recover a little bit before I exited my position, which is why you never try to do two things at once. But that's the name of the game. As long as you're not making monster losses. Okay, so anyways, yeah, that was bad risk management. Very bad right there for me. Should have waited till it got above you. Well, actually, that was just a kill candle. It came out of nowhere. I still haven't figured out where that candle came from. And either way, maybe we come back to 247 for Tesla. 247. I'm always looking for this entry because this thing is going to rip once it gets going, it's going to rip. I was in earlier here. We traded this a couple days ago, and I sized up too much, and I got out of my position because I didn't want to hold it overnight. But hey, if we pull back into 247 or 250, 250 would be perfect. The hold of 250 where we pretty much launched off the past couple days. 250 is support, and then 265 is that next major level. 265 is around here. I'll have to remark these up again. But yeah, if we pull back into that, then we should be solid when it comes to Tesla. This thing is marked up way too much. I need to get it erased and then redo it again. But yeah, AMD breaking that downtrend, and it's showing some support at the PDC at the previous day close. We're getting some support there on AMD. All right. If you're looking at IWM here in the right, I'll put this in the right window. IWM has some strength. Let's see. You kind of have the wedge. You sort of have the wedge here for me. Man, yeah, I don't know what's up with my computer. Why is it so slow today? So yeah, that's what we have for AMD. Right. Well, now that we're waiting, I'm gonna. Oh, look at the Dow. The Dow just still finding support. So I think we're just seeing rotation into Dow and IWM. What are we looking like on Caterpillar? Oh yeah, that makes sense. Caterpillar just surging. This is just a market rotation. Look at that. Caterpillar just surging. I don't like this stuff. I'm not trading it. I'd rather wait for the support on big tech or technology in general. But this tells you that, the market isn't really selling off. It's just rotating. It's just rotating at the moment. It's getting rotation out of tech and into small cap slash value. And maybe this continues because rates are rising, even though that shouldn't make sense for small caps, but it does for Dow. You know what? No, I didn't, bro. I should have restarted it. I didn't restart it. I should have restarted it this morning. Definitely right on that. Well, here's the setup on Caterpillar. If this thing can continue, I'm gonna double check to see what things look like on when it comes to who's in play. I do like this downtrend in AMD though, just downtrending against the support line, and it's been sold off for a while. I really do like that. So okay, so we got S&P over here on the right hand side. These are our zones. This is kind of nasty though. Let me see if I can redo this. That was yesterday. Pre-market highs. That's too many things on there. For sure, 436 was a level. All right, I'm gonna get rid of this. We already know this is a level. I think that's what we're looking at this morning. Here's what we're looking at for SPY. Consolidating between these levels. Man, AMD is trying to push though. AMD is starting to push, and we're holding 111, getting above VWAP, breaking that downtrend. Turn this to the 3-minute. Get that noise out. Okay. All right, yeah, we might be breaking that downtrend on AMD. I definitely need to restart it when the time comes. All right, so let's see, what do we got? So just really quick, going over the, actually, no, this is not it. Really quick, I'm gonna go over the what we just saw for what we just saw come out for the data, and especially this week's data. Okay, let's go to that calendar. You know what? We can also do, see, how does this sound? Why isn't that working? Huh. Do you guys hear music? That's weird. Yeah, well, AMD's pushing up. Sorry. SPY got a little sloppy on there. AMD starting to push now. Okay. Despite the weakness in the Qs. And Qs might be double bottoming here in the left-hand corner. We'll see if we get that rotation back in the tech. If so, then this could be Oracle takes on AWS and Microsoft with NVIDIA chip investment for AI cloud. So Oracle now, Kathy Wood sells 7.3 million. Oh, Kathy is still selling Tesla too. So that's putting some downside pressure on the stock. We got Q2 delivery numbers. I'm not sure what day that is, but Q2 delivery should be coming out for Tesla. All right, so the Dow's starting to roll over. Now the Qs are starting to pick up a bit, and we're getting some rotation into AMD. That's pretty nice. There we go. There's that AMD rotation. Wow, it's pushing up strong. Advanced decline is positive today also, so we have market breadth for sure. Now that the Dow and IWM are starting to roll over a little bit in the short term, this could be the chance to see. Watch, let me throw the Qs up here. This could be the chance for tech to take back the sell-off. Very sharp sell-off in from the pre-market. I'd put it like this, somewhere like this. We need to hold this level for the Qs. Yeah, that's nice. I like that. I like that. Now we got these EMAs starting to pull up. So AMD, yeah, if the Qs start to rise again, if they can break that downtrend and start to get up, AMD is probably going to go back to the pre-market high up here at 13. Looking at 113. 113, and then you got some resistance at 112. Qs are still weak though. No sign of a reversal. This might be one of the plays. I'm gonna double check the RVol, look at the intraday fundamentals to see if we do actually have to see how hot AMD is actually trading today versus Tesla and everybody else. Let's see RVol. So there's the pullback on AMD. RVol, is AMD on here? TLT, yeah. A lot of people are selling the bond market. Lots of RVol on the bond market. Rates moving up. A lot of move into crypto also. It's at 1.3. So AMD is at 1.3. That's definitely not bad. See, Tesla's trading at 1.4, so that's also trading pretty high RVol. Um, why aren't they showing up on here? They should be up on the screen. That's weird. Oh, we got snow moving up a little bit. PDD. Let's just do over 1. Okay, there we go, over 1. Open door, trying to make a push again. Well, for the most part, anything moving over 1, I mean, I like AMD because it's been sold, like, it's been weak for a while, and we should be seeing that rotation back in AMD. It's trading at 1.4 RVol. That's pretty good. It's not bad. It's a 200 plus billion-dollar company, so the RVol is going to be, it's going to be tougher to get the RVol up. I think that is definitely enough. GDP growth rate 2%. What was expected today? 1.4. So today our GDP, just to keep in mind for the day, GDP was expected to come in quarter over quarter final at 1.4%, and we came in at 2%. So we're still slowing because last month or last quarter we were at 2.6. So we're still slowing, but the numbers are better than expected. And that could be why the rates are starting to rise, because it's like, whoa, growth is stronger than expected. So inflation core might stay stickier for longer. Maybe, so people are selling off the bond market because and the bond market might just sell off because if growth comes back, there's no reason to buy bonds. What's the point if growth comes back? You want to be inside of cyclicals, right? You want to be inside of riskier assets because they're going to perform in a hotter economy. And so these rising rates might not matter. Here's the there's the pullback for AMD. And the Qs are getting crushed, man. So we need the Qs to really bottom out here. We'll see if the Qs actually bottom. So I'm just trying to, spin the narrative here, which is Growth is still slowing, but it's not collapsing. It's actually coming in better than people expect. Now, core PCE prices is really the issue here. And I think that's why core PCE prices, you can't see it on this screen, but I'm just reading it to you. Core PCE is basically that core inflation, the stickiness everybody talks about. And it came in hot, it came in the hottest read since January. Oh no, this is January. It came in the hot. Yeah, no, you're right. I'm right. It came in at the hottest that it's been for the last three quarters since 2022. So here's where the issue is. We came in at 4.9%. It was expected to be 5%. So core PCE was expected to be higher. That's just not good news. But again, I think a lot of this has to do with rents, with shelter, and I think rents and shelter eventually collapse. And we'll see as it comes. End of summer, I'm calling it by August, July, August, we should see CPI at 2, low 2%, sub 3 for sure. I think headline really does collapse with if we see oil come down as I expect. And not that I have a crystal ball, but I don't know. I think it's possible. That's just my take on it. Okay, AMD is pulling back. Can't hold VWAP. Wasn't a trade because now Qs are starting to make new lows. Now, some people could be shorting the Qs. That could work for you. Pending home sales are still in negative territory. Even though they're recovering, they're still negative. So that also puts pressure on the housing market and the real estate market. Well, real estate housing, because we already know real estate, commercial real estate is in trouble. We already know commercial real estate is at risk and banks are at risk for that. So again, there's no reason to really hike rates when the banking sector is literally holding all this, commercial real estate debt. That's a big risk. Do you work a full-time job too? I know you said you used to be a teacher. No, I don't. I do not work a full-time job. This is my full-time job. Pretty much trying to start you guys seen the Mind Growth website. So I've just trade and build the website and I do different stuff. I don't really talk about what I do because it's a little more complicated. It's not really going to make sense to other people. But no, I do not. I do not work a full-time job. Haven't for a couple of years. I'm dedicated to creating content to to basically wave the flag like, hey, you know what? You should be invested in the market because your wages will never grow fast enough. Your savings shouldn't be in cash. And I don't know. I think, overall, the narrative is like crypto's going much higher. We see Bitcoin finally starting to break out again. And that kind of bring me to somewhat financial freedom. Now, hey, things could crash, everything could go wrong, but you got to take risk in life. And if you calculate it correctly, then, anybody that's running a business, by the way, 95% of businesses fail, 90%. So you just have to really get better at what you do. And yeah, that's why I don't really talk about it because it doesn't make sense for most people. For the most part, though, the skills that I do have, um, like, trading, I do trade Tesla a lot because I'll sell options on Tesla, but it just doesn't make sense for most people. I'm not going to be like, oh, I got 3 option calls. I'm selling the 250s, blah, blah, blah. My capital structure is going to be a little different than most people. So I'm focused on more investing. Everybody should invest. That's a lot easier to do. It's a lot easier to invest. And swing trading is pretty simple too. So that's usually what I do. If you ever go back into the workforce, would you put the stock market investing on your resume? I guess it would depend what I did. So if I ever went back to teaching, I would just say, I think what I would say is, hey, let me teach an investing course, whether it's fitness or finance, right? That's really where my passion's at is fitness. And I love the stock market. It's competitive, but fitness and mindset is where my skills lie as a teacher. I taught younger kids. I used to be a personal trainer. Very into fitness because that's just how I've always been. So finance is something new for me, and I just want to see how far I can go in it. And so far, I've done good enough to where I don't need to work for anybody else right now. So I'm going to try to continue this and spread the word, spread the knowledge. And yeah, if I ever do go back though, then I don't know if I'd put it on my resume. I don't know if it would just depend what I did, right? So I could work some type of job where I'm doing research for invest. I don't know if I'd even do that. I'd rather just, trade the market than work for a financial company. But if I like kids, to be honest with you, bro, my passion is with helping kids. You've seen some of them on the TikTok jump on. You've seen some of them jump on the TikTok and talk a little bit. So I like to, help the next generation to get better, to improve in however they can. But see, definitely definitely I think the market is just a huge opportunity, and most people don't understand how it works. They're misguided, and they're told false information, and you just have to be patient. If you pick the right investments, not real estate. I know we talked about real estate yesterday. That's a move, but if you pick the right waves and your time frame is long, if you can take a 5-year time frame. Let's say you're working a job, you're barely making minimum wage, or you're barely making, you're making like 50K a month. I'm sorry, not a month, a year, and you invest. If you can be disciplined for 3 years, you can definitely, and if you're in the right investment vehicles, in 3 years, you could definitely triple, 5x your money, your savings. So that is my view on it. But for the most part, if you're in the audience, I don't really talk about personal savings and stuff because there's so much information on that. Where there's not information is the macroeconomic cycles, and I think we're at the bottom of the cycle here. The last cycle that I saw at the bottom, if you did own Tesla, you did a 10x. If you own Bitcoin, you had a 10x. So that's kind of where my focus is on, is these innovative companies that can change your life, that can literally change your life. That's where my focus is on. And if you want to trade, you want to trade, but learning how the market moves and watching the price action, I like that too. That's something I like to do. But for the most part, Sagi, yeah, man, if I do go back to the workforce, I'll definitely. When I was a teacher, I used to teach kids, how to invest. They used to have like the stock screener, the stock market mock thing. So it would teach them, just so they're aware when they get older, they know, like, hey, if you get a job, invest your money. Don't save it in cash. That makes no sense. And the younger you are, the more you can take riskier bets. And when I say riskier bets, I'm just saying versus like index funds. Index funds, yeah, sure, they you'll have slow wealth, but they never beat the Fed's balance sheet. The cost of the cost of money, or here's what happens. The more the Fed prints money, the higher assets go. The assets that go the highest are usually going to be the companies who are changing the world, who are making a big difference, right? Apple, man, that thing did a 20, 30x since its beginning. Since it was a small company, it's done such a lot. Like, if you owned Apple stock back in the day and you kept adding to it, you'd be pretty wealthy. You'd be pretty wealthy. So that's my whole thing, is if you can be patient, you take care of take care of your health, you stay patient, work the job that you like, that you have a passion for. You don't have to go into engineering or something that you hate, or something that doesn't make sense for you. If it makes sense for you, great. But you don't need to be a doctor, you don't need to be a lawyer. And if you are, great, lump sum, buy some stock. But you can work at an average life and still be wealthy if you invest the right way. Because what else is there for you? Most people will never be wealthy because they can't be disciplined, for one, but for two, they'll never be wealthy because they're taught to buy index funds. I'm sorry, your 401k is too slow. Like, you're going to retire and you're going to get like $5,000-$10,000 a month. Okay, great. And then what? Like, sure, I'm not saying it's bad. I'm not saying it's terrible, but you could easily, in 10 years, if you can save $250 to $500 a month, you could be a millionaire in 10 years easily, in my view. There's a path for that. So I'm still learning. I'm still trying to figure it out. I couldn't tell people, hey, sell options. That's complicated. That's very complicated. Getting back into the workforce part-time. I left my full-time job around August 2021, and now I don't know if I should leave it um, as a gap or what. Oh, okay. And the reason for that, okay, here we go. Let me put that up there. For going back part-time is basically just to have another source of income. Yeah, no, that's smart. If you can have another source of income and you're comfortable with that, I think that's awesome, because you can obviously invest more. It'll be less stress. Messing with the market is tough. But yeah, if you can do another source of income, that would be great. Especially if you have a family and you're starting a family and all that, that'd be great for you, 100%. But yeah, like me, I think the easiest thing to do, like I'm just gonna say it, the easiest thing to do is you work a part-time job or a full-time job, and of course you don't have the information, but you buy Bitcoin, right? You buy Bitcoin on the collapse. Let's say you save 5K and you bought Bitcoin on every collapse. Oh my gosh, bro, you're gonna have 50K the next 2 years, and then the next 2 years you're gonna have 100, 250K. So that's just Bitcoin. Things are gonna change. But my point is that people just don't have the knowledge. They're told that this is rat poison, Tesla's crap. These things are changing the world very quickly, and they can change your life. So you don't need to go all in on some crazy risky asset. And I'm here also to argue with people that this is the future. We're heading to a digital world. It's not going to change. The Fed will keep printing money. They have no choice. The central banks need to print money in order to monetize the debt. There's no way to pay off the debt but to increase productivity. And the only way you increase productivity is by investing or allocating government resources, like we're starting to see with Joe Biden, into productive assets, right? Something that can increase, like AI, increasing productivity, 10xing productivity for a tenth of the cost. You need more production. You need to produce more. And the only way to do that is with technology. To lower the cost of energy, you need technology to increase, just like mobile phones. Like 50 years ago, billionaires didn't have mobile phones, and now you do. And you could literally be on food stamps, and you could have a supercomputer because of technology. And now with those resources, people are lazy, but with those resources, you can now figure out how to make more income with your phone. There's a lot you could do with your phone. So, like technology is great. Now, if you owned Apple, Amazon, Microsoft, Google, Facebook, if you own those back in the day, you 10x, 20x your money, right? And you dollar cost average or whatever you do. No, there's so many strategies, but if you were to dollar cost average, you're up big. You feel less, you feel a lot more comfortable. You can invest in your health. You can support your family, your kids, yourself a lot better than you could before. So that's why it's important to understand, investing. And I think the stock market has, I'm sorry, but actually, I'm not sorry. The stock market returns are much better than real estate. They're much easier also. You don't have to deal with all these different costs. You don't. You just buy. It takes one. You just buy. Versus real estate, you got to go do this. And I'm not saying there's not a reason to be in real estate, or if you like it or if you do it. If that's a job, that's a job. I'm talking about people who are already working a minimum wage, or they're making the average like 50 to 40K a year. You can try real estate, but you're already working a full-time job. So that takes a lot of time and effort and confusion. And I got to do this, and you got to worry about maintenance costs. With the stock market, not the S&P 500, but if you can pick individual stocks, boom, you just make the purchase and that's it. And I've already, I have a couple friends who actually listen to me, and maybe I'll have them on one day. We'll do a podcast, and I'll show you the people who have made a lot of money. And I told them, hey, you got to buy Bitcoin. And they took the risk, and they 10x their money and bought a house. So it is possible, but trust is where it's really hard to trust people. So that's why I'm doing this too, to build some credibility, because it's really tough to trust people. It's really tough. You can't trust anybody. Look at Tesla exploding. So take this in hand. Tesla's going much higher than this. Okay, so we consolidated, got above PDC. Now looks like the Qs are starting to turn up. 257 is really that level that we saw yesterday. I think we need to get above 257 for Tesla and hold. I really don't want to give up on battling this, because I know when it launches off again, more shorts are going to get squeezed. And I call it wave 2 FOMO. This is wave 2 FOMO. We're going to see wave 2 FOMO. We saw the first wave of FOMO when we broke over 4,200. Now I think we get to wave 2. Asana. What is the ticker for Asana, bro? Dimaj. And I know, everybody, oh, Tesla's gonna break down. Bro, there's so many strong buyers that are stepping in. There's institutions, I guarantee, and retailers stepping in. The biggest inflows into the stock market have happened over the past couple of weeks, and they were in Tesla, Nvidia, and Apple. I'd argue Apple and Nvidia are a little too overbought. Apple can grind higher, Nvidia's can grind higher too, but Tesla has the most upside in my view by far. Asan. So what is Asan? Is it ASAN? I don't really know it. Give me the ticker symbol, then I'll check it out for sure. Quick little commercial break. Man, that was probably rough. I'm sorry. Anyways, yeah, do we get that ticker symbol? Throw me that ticker symbol for Asan. I don't know what it is. I don't know what that ticker symbol is. Okay, Tesla holding 257 now. Nice. You also have AMD down here trying to hold that level. AMD holding the level, Tesla starting to hold the level. The Qs may be bottoming. Did we get it in there? No. Asana. Demaj. Let me know when you get that ticker symbol, Demaj. Dow pulling back into VWAP. You know what? I need to keep the SPY up here because I can see the Qs already. I can see the Qs start to turn up. But we might be bottoming here. It looks like we're starting to bottom a little bit. I'm really waiting for AMD. Looking at this 3-minute chart, can we hold above VWAP? Momentum's coming back in. Keeping my eye on the Qs in the left-hand corner. Keeping my eyes on the Qs for sure. All right, so let's pull up. While I keep that there, I'm trying to pull up this macro data. What do they say about GDP? I don't even know if that matters. See what CNBC is saying also. All right, so here we go. There's a nice setup for AMD. AMD and Tesla getting back above VWAP, possibly holding VWAP. Still watching the Qs. Can the Qs rip? Can the Qs get above that zone? Maybe not. But I am seeing this wedge after the break of the downtrend start to form. All right, so here comes this wedge. It's getting kind of tight in here. So Tesla got rejected by PDC earlier. Obviously, it had support, right? We had some support here. Yo, bro, this pisses me off. Then we got rejected, so it turned into resistance. And maybe we come back down and reconfirm this level, right? Maybe we come back down. So support, resistance, resistance, support. Do we get that support now? That'd be some more clarity for sure. Dow starting to turn back up. Maybe I should throw the VIX in here at the bottom. So we're getting support there. Question is, can AMD get above this level? Can we see AMD start to turn up here? Maybe, maybe not. Open door is still strong. Man, open door is strong. That thing is just it's headed for 5 now. So I don't know if Football Legends is in here, but I know he got long open door around 340. See, what are these people saying here on CNBC? Oh, Berkshire Hathaway boost Occidental stake by 25%. Buffett loves this energy play. Well, great. Great. I think energy collapses. I mean, over time, they're going to be profitable for sure. So that's not really a question, especially if they're invested in renewables. So we're getting the hold of VWAP here. The real question is, can the Qs get above that level? Can the Qs finally get above that level? AMD looks really good. It looks better on the 1 minute than the 3 minute. And the 1 minute has a lot of noise. So not completely sure. Open door starting to push for sure. Hey, Polestar is in the news. Polestar is the latest EV maker to announce a move to Tesla North American charging standard. So everybody's coming to the charging standard. ASAN? Oh, okay. All right, ASAN. I'm going to evaluate it on here's what I'm going to do for Asan. I'm going to check it out on the macro charts. Where they at? Yeah, I'm going to look at the macro chart. So we'll look at Asan. You put this on this one. Asan stock. All right, let's see. Let's see what Asan looks like. All right, so let's throw those EMAs on. Do we have any golden crosses? Yep, got a triple golden cross here. So momentum is definitely to the upside. 50 above the 100, 50 above the 200, 100 above the 200. So we get the triple golden cross on Asand. It is starting to grind higher. It looks like a reverse head and shoulders possibly. Obviously, that next resistance is somewhere around here. So what is this? Through 3050? Between 3050 and pretty much 30. So we have some resistance here, maybe 29. That's your resistance. It should be liftoff after that. It is holding this uptrend, right? So that looks good. It's holding the previous highs. Uh-oh, the Qs are starting to move up. Yeah, San looks solid. Hold on, I'll come back to this. Let me jump into this window. I'll come back to Hassan. I'll come back to it, but we are getting some lift. The Qs are testing VWAP now. They're trying to get above VWAP. The VIX is falling out. VIX is starting to fall pretty sharply. Let me throw SPY up here. Right-hand corner. All right, we'll see if the SPY can get above that level again. And now we have the liftoff on AMD and Tesla. There's the break on VWAP. All All right, the Qs are above VWAP for the first time. Um, Now I want to see the Qs actually hold VWAP. They still have a lot of resistance too, as does AMD and Tesla. All right, yeah, Qs are starting to hold VWAP now. SPY coming into resistance on the daily. Ooh, big sell candle on the Dow. Big sell candle on the Dow. VIX is starting to roll over. Yeah, why did I think the VIX went to 16? The VIX did not go to 16. Where did I get that from? Was that pre-market? Yeah, the VIX never got to 16. The VIX is dumping, by the way. VIX is definitely starting to dump. Ed Yardini, he's the one of the bulls in the market. He has some commentary. All right, so here goes the pullback on the Qs. They're pulling back into VWAP here. Purple. I don't know if it's going to hold, but if it does hold, that'll be bullish for stocks for for at least for Tesla and AMD. Oh, big. Okay, so now open doors getting hit a little bit. I think we're seeing a lot of rotation. That's how it feels like. I feel like there's a lot of rotation going on here. There's a lot of rotation in and out here and there. See if Tesla can hold this level. Never came back to PDC, but is now testing. It just moved off of 257. Now starting to test those pre-market lows / opening print with the Qs finding support here. I bet you that's a big hammer. Yep, look at that giant hammer. Big hammer. I knew it. Let's see, over 258.50 would be solid. Really over 257.50 was the move. See if it can push through. Small battle at 257. So you got that cross way earlier. Is it gonna pull into? Here goes the pull in, and the Qs are still elevated. So the Qs are still pushing up. Q still pushing up. Got Tesla at resistance. Right back. This is really right back to where we were earlier when we got slammed pretty hard. So there should be a lot of resistance here. Really, we're looking at 257 to 258. I'm gonna adjust this because I'm gonna adjust this to 258. Yeah, 258. We need to get above 258 and hold. And then we're looking at 257. I mean, 257's way down here. That's not PDC, is it? No, it's not. Okay, cool. So that's pretty much our zone right there. And the hold the VWAP. We want to see VWAP hold. The Qs are holding though. Qs are starting to hold. Yep, Qs making new highs. Also SPY SPY is trying to get above that level. We had pretty much a triple bottom on SPY too this morning. Or you could call it double bottom. Definitely momentum moving up. Okay. Qs, can they hold VWAP? Can the Qs hold VWAP? Looks like not Amazon. AMD is getting stuck here. By the way, what does Amazon even look like? I haven't looked at Amazon for a minute. I know Amazon had that big break. Amazon's still struggling to get over that level. Wow. Nice bear flag if you want to short something. And man, the Qs are pushing. I'm long Tesla. All right, I'm long Tesla. I'm seeing the Qs push harder. Now they're going to run into resistance. So obviously, if we can't hold this 90 EMA in the 3-minute, or even really this zone, we need to hold this zone to 257.50. Definitely need to hold that. If we get above this and hold, that'll be good. Qs are pulling into resistance at the moment, but they are above VWAP. And the VIX is failing at the moment. We got the VIX falling. We have, where's the dollar at? I don't know where the dollar's at. Dollar might be falling. Maybe, maybe not. SPY. SPY is trying to push. Okay, there we go. We got another small little capitulation off that 9 EMA. See if it actually holds. Yeah, Polestar, Polestar, Polestar. Let's see, where's that article at? SPY starting to get rejected a bit. See what is AMD doing. AMD still at that V, still making that V. Let's see what this looks like on the 30 or the hour. It's a nice little hammer there. 30 minute. 30 minutes, not bad. Still a lot of resistance at 112 on AMD. Okay, is Apple holding this market up? Apple with all-time highs this morning? Sheesh. I never like Apple's price action though. The fact that it held PDC 3 times though is a pretty good sign. And I need my protein bars, man. They ran out of protein bars. I got a new order though because I need some protein. Market not phased by bearish Fed. This is Ed Yardini. All right, so yeah, Microsoft starting to pull up a bit, broke that downtrend. Yeah, let's see. Let me take a step back on the Qs. Let's see where the Qs are really trying to do here. Um, so the Qs are basically finding a lot of resistance at 366. Okay. This might not follow through because the Qs did not support that. Man, that was a lot of buying though yesterday. Guess it was in pre-market, so it wasn't that important. 366, which was also the high of what are we, Thursday, I think Tuesday's high. Yeah, Tuesday's high, which was also Monday's high. This is a lot. Yeah, there's a lot of resistance on the Qs here. So if the Qs can get above here, man, that is a lot of. I didn't realize how much resistance we're looking at here. Okay, that's a lot. 360. We're looking at 365 or 364.50 all the way to about 365 is, yeah, there's a lot of resistance. If the Qs happen to rip through this, very bullish for very bullish for tech. It's kind of unlikely though. It's a little unlikely. You almost want to short Amazon here if this doesn't go through. You almost want to short Amazon with this VWAP. You got this zone right here, VWAP rejection. You could do a VWAP fade here. Take a look at Meta. Meta sold off pretty hard too. Also breaking that downtrend though. Looks like Tesla is starting to support. Well, it's trying to anyway. Got the Qs really struggling at that level. That's a strong level for the Qs though. The VIX is still collapsing. SPY is on the 1 minute sort of holding, or actually this is a 3 minute holding. What is this, pre-market high? No, this is just a level from yesterday. So market still has a lot of resistance. No clarity yet. We may not get a clear rotation till later on in the day. And I don't know if there's any news actually coming out either. The data is already in. You got stronger than expected GDP, and you have weaker pending home sales month over month. Yeah, this could just be sideways, bunch of noise here. Sideways noise, sideways noise. That's what it's looking like. But yeah, Dimaj, Asan is holding the previous support level at a 20. What is this? 21, 2150. Yeah, the hold of 2150 I think is key for Asan. Just looking at it in the short term, 2150 hold is key. It is breaking the downtrend. It is starting to break that downtrend. You could even call it 21 as the support, but I like 2150 because it's just less. You could always re-enter at 21. But definitely 2150. I'm looking at it on another chart. 21, 2150. Nice hold there. Once it gets above 23, what is this thing? I wonder what it is. Let me take a look at what it is. Based in New York. Software application. EPS has been negative over the last 4 years and getting worse. I wonder why. Just got downgraded by DA Davidson. They got upgraded twice and then downgraded by the same analyst. Could be cyclical though. Revenue growth is picking up. Is this an AI play? It looks like an AI play. San Francisco, California. Okay, so Asan is probably one of those productivity stocks, huh? Increased productivity through software application. Blah, blah, blah. It's in the Russell Index. Is this a small cap? The RET? I don't know what that is. Well, SPY is stepping up. S&P is stepping up. Operating gross margins are nice on Asan. 89% gross margins. Leverage debt to equity ratio is pretty flat, not bad. No PE yet. Falling EPS. If they ever go positive or their earnings per share starts to turn up, then I bet this stock really has a big move. But again, they are competing with a lot of big players. So they're competing with Salesforce. You could even say Shopify. I'm not exactly sure, but Workday, Salesforce, maybe even Snowflake. There's a lot of competition in this. So on a technical basis, though, yeah, it's holding support. It's trending higher. Like I always say, if the macro keeps improving, then everything's going higher until everything's going higher as the macro continues. Unless rates just start ripping through. If rates just rise rapidly, then you're going to have a better balance sheet because those margin calls are going to start coming. All right, so Tesla's starting to pick up a little bit. Meta breaking that level. AMD looking like AMD. Oh, wow. AMD just had a large upside move. Now the pullback to 112 is going to be key. Can we pull back to 112 here? Still a lot of resistance for the Qs though. SPY might be making high of day, but Q's still weak. Advanced decline is declining. Let's see, Dow, VIX maybe. Yeah, SPY is definitely stepping up. AMD is looking good. AMD looks very strong right now. I want to see it pull back into 112 and then break a pattern. I want to see that setup. That was like a big big reverse head and shoulders on AMD. That's basically what we just witnessed. Big head and shoulders, big reverse head and shoulders. Football Legends, what up? Did you learn about real estate from last night's stream? You talking to me? What's up, Football Legends in the house? See if AMD can pull back into that level. This is the 1 minute. Yeah, that's the 1 minute chart. What else do we have in play here? The Qs, Apple, Intel. Over 1. Let's go 1.5. Mara, MU, TLT. That's probably because Bitcoin is moving up. What is top? Top is capital Hong Kong. Uh-oh, big wedge on this Hong Kong stock. TOP. SEC charges former Pfizer statistician with insider trading. Big rejection at 257. Yeah, there's no carry through. I don't like this price action. Looks like VWAP's going to get hit pretty hard. Yeah, Tesla. Can it hold VWAP? Do we get a bounce? This needs to just go straight back up. If it can't go straight back up, nope. Just not holding that support. Pretty heavy. Qs look pretty heavy. The Qs are at that resistance. Let's see if the Qs can break out. I don't know if they're going to actually break. I don't know if the Qs can actually break. Tesla's looking heavy, though. Tesla's looking pretty heavy. Advanced decline moving up. Dow caught another bid, so Dow stocks are moving higher. I definitely don't like that price action for Tesla. I got out. I needed a bounce quickly, just didn't do it. I mean, that's still the level to hold, but that price action was weak. And now the Qs are starting to roll over. So now the Qs are rolling over, SPY's there. Now AMD might be given that chance because this thing might stay strong. All right, so anyways, top, let's see, TOP. Any stock. Got the big wedge here. Oh, no wonder everybody's trading this. No wonder. Would you say AC ace, diamond hand with them spy calls this morning? Oh, you missed it? Football Legends, you missed it's still on YouTube. You can go check out the if you're talking about if you're talking about a real estate talk last night, it's on YouTube. So what, you got spy calls here, the break on VWAP? Let me take this trash off. Let's see what Bitcoin looks like on the bigger term chart. This is futures, but I'm gonna go back to the 30-minute. Still wedging, holding. That's a clean hold though at 30K. Clean hold at 30K. Still eyeing MicroStrategy. Is it worth it? I don't know. Yeah, Tesla is not holding 257. You need the cues. You really need the cues at this point to get back above that level. There has to be some DAO movement though somewhere. Unity software. What is it? Just you? Anyways, yeah, Bitcoin holding 30K. That's huge. That's a good sign right there. 30K is the level. So Unity software. See what it looks like. Unity software. Let's go to the weekly chart. Weekly chart. Looks like it got above this 40 level. Always using the whole number. Oh, it's just breaking above that 40 level again. $41.50. Let's go to the daily and turn on the macro. All right, let's look at that macro chart. What does the macro chart look like? Is this Kathy Woodstock? This is one of her picks, right? One of those look, it's about to have that triple golden cross all at once. Wow, blue, green, blue, red, whatever. Yeah, it's having a triple golden cross. I mean, it's having a baby breakout. No, I'm just kidding. But it is definitely looking strong now, getting above those levels. Okay, so there's that gap. Not to say a gap is that important on this type of stock, I'm not sure, but it looks like 4250 is 4250. That's where it bounced off this morning, huh? Right above it. Or try to pull in a 4250. 4250 pretty clear support there. Right, next resistance is going to be 5850 on Unity, 5850. 4250. You got a little bit at 47. So you get a little bit at 47, 5250. And yeah, that's your resistance. It needs to hold 4250 though, I would say, as a tight stop. It needs to hold that 4250 level. Can it finish above or below VWAP is also important. I usually like to say, as a rule of thumb, if I'm trying to buy something for a swing call, if I'm trying to enter anyways, and it's going into the close, I want to buy it when it finishes above VWAP. Typically, if it finishes above VWAP, it'll gap up. That's not always true, but it's more likely that it's gapping up because obviously institutions are pushing it up a little higher. But if it finishes below VWAP, then wait for it might pull back again. And it could be the opposite. It's just probabilities. It's not no promise. Definitely not a promise. All right. AMD is starting to lift. AMD starting to lift. And this is looking at the 1 minute. Okay, yeah, AMD is lifting there. That's pretty good. Not sure if this will actually hold, but Got above 12. Did pull. Oh, whoa, whoa. What the heck? What's going on with my chart? Looks like it's bugging out a little bit. Okay, Qs. So Tesla found some support at 257. SPY making new highs. Maybe here comes AMD. Okay, that was a big move on AMD. Unity, Asan. Are you talking about Unity? Yeah, Unity was Unity looks pretty straight. All right, I'm long AMD calls at that breakout. Nothing too big. Just has a lot of momentum. It did pull back into 112. It held 112 after breaking out. Needs to hold 112.50. And Tesla is now holding 257 again. That's good. 257. SPY making new high, headed into 438. This is Dow. Dow still moving up a bit. VIX is rolling over again too. So you got the VIX rolling over. Let's see if AMD can hold this level. Double top on the Qs. Double top on the Qs. That didn't work out. Oh no, are we holding? Nope. Nope. I wanted to see that hold. No hold there. All right, yeah, no hold on, no hold on AMD. Small size, minus 15. Just wanted to see if we could hold that level. Didn't happen. We got a double top on the Qs anyway at resistance. Maybe AMD. Let me throw it to the 3 minute. Get a little clear. We might see more. No, that doesn't look like a wedge at all. See, we're gonna lift here. Could see this sort of take place, but Qs are not in your favor. Definitely not. Double top on the Qs. So look at Tesla rolling over again. It was almost got there, but just couldn't do it. All right, I'm gonna get to that Edward Yardeni. Been eating healthier, or at least trying. Good. Salad and trail mix for lunch today. Nice. Salad, and what kind of salad are you eating? Make sure you get those whole. You should go check out the greens that you want to be putting into your diet, because there's a lot of crap greens out there. So arugula is something good you could put in your diet. So just take advantage of this information here. You should be putting in or you want to have, like, if you're eating a salad, whether you make it or you don't make it yourself, spinach, you could overdo spinach though sometimes, but arugula is really good. Cabbage, arugula, for your salads. Get that onion in there, garlic if you can, pumpkin seeds, avocado if you can, extra virgin olive oil instead of ranch. Ranch is a bunch of crap. So extra virgin olive oil. I mean, there's some healthy stuff. Like, I eat this blue cheese. It's probably the worst thing on my salad. It's this blue cheese stuff. You just want to make sure it's not super, super processed. But yeah, take advantage of the information. Go check out it's called the Organ Health Diet. I don't know if I showed you guys that. Boost your organ health with this diet. And your protein too. Did you get your protein? Spring mix. Spring mix is good. Yeah, spring mix is good. Definitely spring mix is good. Eat healthy. It'll make you feel better overall, and you're gonna last longer, and you won't have health issues down the road. You don't want to get a surprised, you don't want to get surprised with cancer or surprised with something else. So that you're looking at the long run, right? You're looking at the long run and saying, okay, you're going to feel better during the day, during your week, if you get the sleep that you need when you eat healthier. But obviously, the long run, you don't want to get surprised with some medical bills. So eat healthy, cut out all the crap. That's where people will eat healthier, but they'll keep eating the crappy snacks. That's a problem. They'll be like, well, I ate this today and I ate this today, but they won't acknowledge that they're eating crappy snacks still. And that's where people get hit at. All right, market rolling over again. Pretty weak. What did Amazon roll over? Nope. Amazon actually looks really strong. Wow. A lot of consolidation. We probably have a second half move today in the stock market. I bet you there's going to be another second half move. Some days we have the opening is strong. That's where the move comes from. Like yesterday, look at yesterday, and actually let's go to the Qs. Let's not look at AMD. When we go back, we had the opening drive for the Qs pretty strong. It took about an hour, and then boom, it exploded. And before that, I think that was yesterday. Before that, we had consolidation, and then we finally broke out around about 2 hours into the market. And then before that, that wasn't a breakout. We're looking at only breakouts here because we're only long. No, I'm just kidding. So 8:30, this might be the time though. 8:30, we possibly break out. We're holding VWAP now. We are holding VWAP now. So maybe you have a second half rally. I'm gonna restart this. I don't know why it's so bad. Yeah, let me restart this and then throw on this window. So this is what I was talking about anyway. Boost your organ health with this diet so that you can live longer, so that you don't have organ problems in the future. Your liver is the second largest organ in the body, performing over 500 functions, assisting other organs. I wrote this bad. The liver detoxifies the entire body. So your liver detoxifies your body by processing everything, digest it. And you see all those bodybuilders and stuff, dude, their livers are jacked up. They're in the hospitals, their hearts are messed up because they don't detox their body. They put in all these supplements. There's some good supplements, and there's some supplements that are not good for you. People overdo them, and that's what hurts them also. But the liver, everything goes through the liver. So make sure your liver is solid. Also, what'll help your liver out is a 14 to 16 hour fast, 2 to 3 days a week. You could do it every day. You could do it, every other day, depending on what you want to do. Here's a quick little diet though, that I have on. Whoa. So yeah, here's the ingredients that you want for your diet. These are just straight ingredients. There we go. There we go. So these are ingredients for your power salad. So this is kind of how I look at my stuff, look at my food. I got my power salad. I usually eat this first, maybe 5 days out of the week. Sometimes I won't eat a salad. Just depends. But 5 days out of the week, I'm eating a salad. Got all the ingredients here. You don't have to put all of them in. Just it's kind of more so look at the ingredients that you want to have in your salad. Make sure you have at least half of them or get as much as you can in. You got your proteins, right? Your dense proteins. You got your sides here, all your sides for dinner or for lunch, whatever. Your fruits and then your liquids. Watch out for kombucha though. Some of those kombuchas are extremely have a lot of sugar in them. But anyways, yeah, go check that out if you're looking for health. Something just a way to get your diet, boost your diet, right? Boost your diet, and you're not sure what to get. Go check that out. Yeah, so back to a San stock. Is this fitting? Yeah, this does fit. What supplements do I take? What are your thoughts on the Fed meeting? Well, I'll do this one first. What supplements do I take? I take crealkaline creatine pretty much every day. I take vitamin D. I take zinc. I take vitamin D, zinc, vitamin K2. We actually had this talk the other day with some of my fitness guys that we're going to start maybe a podcast in the future if we can get the time constraints right. But yeah, take those: vitamin D, vitamin K, it's K2, vitamin zinc, um, creatine, good for your brain. Also, crealkaline creatine. Sometimes I haven't done it lately, but these things called, dang, I cannot. I'm switching tasks here from the market to health, so my brain's getting stuck. Athletic greens, yeah, athletic greens are really good for you. So you could take athletic greens to grow muscle. Depends on your age. When it comes to your age, if you're over 30, then you could start taking testosterone supplements. I'm not talking about boosting your testosterone, but just stuff like natural herbs that that can help your natural testosterone, help your body to release it, to stay optimized. But you have to be working out and getting your sleep to do that, or else you're just wasting your time. So you got some stuff there. There's a lot of natural stuff. Sleep is the best remedy for a lot of things, though. What are your thoughts on the Fed meeting? So the Fed meeting, that's actually a really good question. That's a really good question. Looking at the Fed meeting. So dang, I can't believe these yields are starting to rise like this. So my thoughts on the Fed meeting. Oh, look at look at S&P. S&P is slowly just breaking out again. It is really slowly breaking out, which makes me want to think AMD calls. Just stop trying to trade the intraday in AMD and just grab the big calls. Yeah, there is resistance up here, but making new highs. Wow, this looks so much cleaner. This looks so much cleaner. I am starving right now. Where are my protein bars at? Um, this looks so much cleaner right here. SPY trying to get above that level. So my thoughts on the actual Fed meeting. Let's see if I can push this to the side. There we go. Got SPY there. So it looks like when it come to the Fed or when it comes to the Fed, sort of what we heard is we got to go higher for longer, or not higher for longer, but it's that same theme. And what I got out of it, you know, who's really good at explaining that is Meet Kevin. He's really good at breaking it down because he specializes in Fed meetings. No, I'm just kidding, but Meet Kevin's really good if you want to get kind of the a little deeper, longer analysis. Anyway, I know I talked about food. So the Fed meeting with you had Christine Lagarde. So you had the ECB, the European Central Bank official. You had the Fed, right? So you have all these. You had the Bank of Japan also. The interesting thing is the Bank of Japan basically said we're going to keep printing money. That we're trying to increase inflation in Japan actually because they have slow growth and they have very slow growth. So they're going to keep printing money. So that's bullish for risk assets, in my view. The Fed, on the other hand, is saying, "Hey, there's a possibility we could keep hiking." But the key thing they said about the market is, we don't care if the market goes up. We're not trying to focus on keeping the stock market down. Even though you hear people saying they won't hike because they don't want to see the stock market higher. They do not care. If anything, they want to see more productivity come in to the market, increase productivity to fill in those job openings, right? Because the more productivity you have, the the lower the supply side of inflation is. So that means stocks that produce more productivity, big tech, etc., are going to go higher. They don't care about stock prices, even though you say that's my view. I don't think they care about stock prices. I think they care about supply. I'm sorry, they care more about making sure the inflation expectations are lower, and inflation expectations are falling, by the way. They are starting to fall. Where's those inflation expectations? Global PMIs. This is like global PMIs. They're in the services sector. Services are still strong. Inflation expectations. US inflation expectations. Yes, leave this page. 5-year forward inflation expectations rate. I think this is it. Yeah, so expectations for the next 5 years haven't really changed. They haven't. We peaked up in April, and these are the next 5 years, right? This is next 5 years. Next 5 years is lower. So there's no, and the Fed wants those expectations to be lower. Now, in the short term, these are the Michigan expectations. This one is key. University of Michigan expectations. They're the ones who basically do the economic surveys for consumers' expectations, and it rolled over. Same thing back in April. Was it April, March? That's where it peaked. So this is 1 year forward. So if you're looking at 1 year from now, inflation expectations are much lower, and they're making new lows as of June. So they're at 3.3%, and then the next 5 years at 3%. So the market and the economy is seeing lower inflation as low as 3%. I think this continues to collapse for a lot of reasons. If you want to know why, then subscribe to my newsletter. Actually, on Saturday, I'm gonna go over it on Saturday. Anyways, I'll be live on Saturday. I'm gonna go over the macro report, and really, it's all about this second wave. So those of you who are not familiar, yes, I do trading in the morning. Like, we don't know, it's tough. I'm still figuring it out. Sometimes we get some really good trades, but we've been on this pullback, which we called last week. Last week in the last macro report, we said the market needs to pull back. I don't really get short. If anything, I sell calls. So, anyways, we should be getting a bounce, and I think we're going to see more bullish calls. If you're swing trading open door, great, because that thing exploded. Anyways, back to the broadcast, right? Back to the broadcast. Um, what I was saying is that I think we're going to see wave 2 FOMO. We just saw wave 1 FOMO. Here comes wave 2. Wave 2 FOMO is coming. I think that's going to be the title. The actual title of the next post is wave 2 FOMO, because inflation is collapsing, and I go through all the details why inflation is collapsing, why it should continue to collapse, why we're still seeing global liquidity pick up, and U.S. liquidity coming from monetary policy, fiscal policy. See Joe Biden still making new bills, 42 billion for internet, blah blah blah. Who does that go to? Technology. So wave 2 FOMO is coming. Now we're actually starting to bottom. Right now we're actually starting to bottom, and this is, I actually really like Finviz. Finviz, they need to support me, but look at that. Look at that. We got above these levels. We're clearly above the levels. Now you see the next breakout. for the S&P. That looks super bullish. Look at that. When I need it to happen, it doesn't. There we go. So S&P, this is Finviz, is clearly breaking out, right? You go to the weekly chart, clearly breaking out. We're starting to find support here. I know this isn't the best view, obviously, but I do think that where inflation is coming down and we're gonna go higher. So the Fed acknowledged that we don't care if the market goes higher. What we do care about is that inflation continues to fall. Powell also acknowledged that the real estate sector has some risks to it. And what does that mean? That means, hey, as long as yields rise, we're seeing yields start to rise, right? 5-year yields, 10-year yields. Let me go to the daily chart. This is actually this is good behavior. Even though I don't want to see yields higher for risk assets, because the higher yields go, the tighter it makes financial conditions for, Bitcoin and crypto and those riskier assets, ARK Invest especially, the higher yields go, it tightens because it's the cost of capital is higher. Either way, the market, what this also does is it keeps the Fed from hiking or from being more hawkish because the market is tightening for the Fed. So that's what we're seeing. The market is actually tightening for the Fed, and the Fed likes that. So they can pause, they can hold here, but he did say, "Hey, we might hike again." The thing is, and the thing is, they've never paused and hiked again in the last 20 years, anyway. Maybe way back, but they've never done it. Let's see. I think I can pull up Fed funds. Fed funds. Have they ever actually paused and hiked again? Right. Take off the log chart. Just go regular. Have they ever paused and hiked again? This is Fed funds, by the way. I don't think they have. Right. So last time they paused here. This is the pause. Can we see that? Yeah. Here's the pause. So they pause and then they cut. Right. Before that, pause, cut. Before that, pause, cut. Before that, pause, cut. Pause, cut. Pause, cut. Never do you see ever a pause. Well, this wasn't even a pause. That was a straight cut. Never do you see a pause and then a hike. Okay. All right. Maybe here. Maybe back in 1969. Great. Pause, hike, and then cut. They cut right after. So you don't see that. So all of a sudden, there's a 0.0001% chance they pause and then they start hiking again. I really doubt it. So I think we're going much higher than this. I don't see that happening. Yeah. So basically, the central bankers, they definitely want to hold their expectations higher and keep risk assets, or not risk assets, but keep inflation expectations as low as possible. The real estate debacle, or the commercial real estate risks are rising. So that tells me that that's kind of pushing the Fed, or keeping the Fed from actually hiking further. That's what I see anyway. But I'm trying to think, what else did Powell say that was important? He's had a couple things that he said, or the Fed meeting in general, other than handling expectations. I think that's it. All right. Hey, all right, Sagi. Good to see you today, man. We'll catch you later. We'll see you tomorrow. Yeah, we'll see you tomorrow morning. Catch you later. I'm gonna also sign out pretty soon here. Let's get back to those 1 minute, not 1 minute, but 5 minute expectations. Ooh, S&P is just holding against that level. This chart's actually pretty clean. I like this. It's a clean chart. Anyways, Ed Yardeni, I want to go through this really quick. Ed Yardeni, he's been a bull for a while. He's calling for the rolling, not calling for, but he's been saying that we're in a rolling recession and now a rolling expansion. So he says, and this is kind of about the Fed meeting too, the stock market held up remarkably, I can't even talk. The stock market held up remarkably well yesterday, despite Fed Chair Powell's warning that there's more restrictions coming. So yeah, he made that warning, but just like we put up on the chart, they've never actually paused and hiked again. Could it happen? Sure. It's maybe it's a bluff. Because the labor market remains too strong, he suggests that a 25 basis point rate hike is still on the table for the next two meetings in the FOMC. So the labor market still being strong. Yes, payrolls are still strong, which gives rise to the economy staying remaining strong. So maybe yeah, the labor market is strong, but it's not like we're seeing wage inflation. Wage inflation is non-existent. Wages are falling. Wage inflation is falling. It's not rising. Average hourly earnings are falling. Manufacturing, service PMIs, not service PMIs, but prices paid are also falling. Powell spoke during the monetary policy session in Portugal. Cool. I didn't know it was in Portugal, which is famous for its huge crashing ocean waves that attract surfers from around the world. Didn't know that. Cool. Fun fact. Yet the waters remain calm in the stock market. The NASDAQ managed to edge up yesterday by 1.8%. And this was the second half. NVIDIA stock price. NVIDIA stock price on reports that Biden administration is considering new export controls on AI chips. Yeah, we talked about that yesterday. Washington is increasing its efforts to make it harder for China to obtain technology with military applications. Okay, that does make sense. So helping support the economy is growing confidence in the resilient, blah, blah, blah. It looks like, yeah, so it looks like the economy is avoiding recession in the face of all these rate hikes, these record level rate hikes. Now that we're paused, it seems like they're trying to keep the expectations up that the pause is not, we might not pause. We're going to hike again. I really doubt it. Um, Pause is pretty bullish. Inflation is due to collapse. Meanwhile, industry analysts may be turning more constructive, as evidenced by the upturn in the forward earnings of the S&P. Oh, that's right. Forward earnings, S&P's earnings actually rose for the S&P. So as the labor market remains strong, that just means, and GDP got revised up again. Yes, rates climb, but that means stronger economy, and that means stronger growth prospects. So if the S&P earnings grow, it doesn't matter. They're going to go higher, right? As long as S&P earnings go up, then um well, they have to meet the expectations. So you don't want the expectations to climb too fast because you might set yourself up for, a downside surprise. But for the most part, like, the fact that they are even going up at all from very negative territory tells you that, that the actual earnings estimates are starting to rise, despite Morgan Stanley's, negative analyst saying that growth is going to collapse second half. Maybe he's right. Maybe it happens. But again, we're getting a lot of fiscal stimulus. And that's my main argument, is that we're getting a lot of this fiscal stimulus from the Biden administration, from the White House, and global stimulus also from China and Japan and India and Brazil, I believe. So money growth is starting to expand there. Maybe not here in the U.S. yet. Well, actually, you could say it is with these infrastructure bills. And as long as inflation makes progress, then that should continue to be positive for the market. And so I think we get second half FOMO here, and really, on a technical basis, that is setting up for us perfectly. That is really setting up for us on a technical basis, because we had this big blow off top above 4,200. We got all the way to 44. Nobody expected that. And now it looks like we found support. Could we come back and support 432? Yeah, we could form a bigger descending wedge channel. So it's not over yet, but you just want to keep an eye on the day to day or the week to week movements in the stock market. And it could be either a slow grind. So we could see this. And this is kind of from a macro lens, what I'm looking at. A lot of people might get shooken out up or down, but I'm looking for this. We either slowly grind higher to the all-time highs, break above, and just slowly grind higher. We either see that, or we pull back all the way back to 432, make another low, and we just keep holding down here, and then we finally break out. Either way, I think the breakout is imminent. It's just going to be whether we see, this, whether we see a bigger wedge form at that 432 level, or if we just keep grinding higher. We could leak below, though. We could break down, but right now the momentum's to the upside, so we're not seeing that. We're definitely not seeing that on the short side right now. All right, let's go to Oh man, Tesla ripped to 438. Well, it didn't rip, but it's slowly starting to climb back up. It feels like the cues. Uh-oh. New Can it finish out this new high? Looks like the cues also. So we're getting a second half push here by the market. Second half push. AMD might be seeing that also. See, we're getting that in AMD. Where is it? Oh no, AMD still had a nice pullback here into 111, 112. Ooh, AMD selling off. Maybe it's just not ready. I think it's ready though. It's breaking this downtrend. Now it's just climbing. Boom, boom, boom. Starting to climb. Why This is why previous day resistance is so important. We had this big flag on AMD, big flag pattern. Actually, it's a wedge. And the break of the wedge is exactly where the price action actually broke from. So we broke out of this wedge, and that's where we had support today at that wedge break. And Tesla looks similar, didn't it? Yeah, similar. And now we're pushing above it. Same thing on Tesla, but I'm guessing the Qs also look the same. Did we have a wedge yesterday? We didn't really have a wedge. Guess there wasn't a wedge, but the Qs look pretty similar. They can't get above 364, 365. I'm going to say 365. Qs can't get above that sound. It feels like the S&P is moving. No, S&P is getting rejected too. So where's the strength coming from? I'm not sure. Man, those ENPH holders, whew, they need more stimulus. A little more stimulus for ENPH. Who's this? Airbnb? MicroStrategy. MicroStrategy. Coin. Has coin been climbing? A little bit. Yeah, coin is starting to recover also. It's already at 72. Wow. Ooh, Zoom doesn't look good. But Open Door is definitely breaking out of this big upside. Yeah, find some resist. What is that? 406, 404? Maybe it'll pull back in a 404 and hold. Palantir. Palantir now starting to bounce. So you got strength in different areas happening for sure. Definitely got strength in different areas. Oh, there we go. Economic data isn't as strong as headlines actually say. Really? Maybe not. If that's the truth, then again, more reason to pause, to hold the pause. No reason to hike. I really doubt they hike next week. I mean, next month. They could, but PMIs are still negative. Maybe they can get away with hikes as long as they keep putting liquidity back into the market. That could be something that happens. Yeah, you know what? We could just be forming a bigger downtrend. Yeah, we broke that, but we could just be forming a bigger downtrend. I'm not 100% sure. Let me take this out. Let me check out these pre-market lines. Okay. So very possible we come back. I don't know. We'll have to see. We just got to watch the price action. 360 and then 357. Bigger index, NDX, consolidate. The longer we consolidate though, the stronger. The stronger the market gets. Can you guys hear music? Really trying to figure out why this is not playing correctly. Let me double check. Oh, there we go. Oh, that's cool. Okay, so you got some sound here. No. Oh, heck yeah, I like we'll do that. Um, do that exit me. Hey, look at the Dow though. The Dow is catching another bid. I know it's been choppy, but more market breadth, more reason to get bullish. There's a lot of buying happening here on the Dow. A lot of buying happening in general. Don't care about that. I want to see this. There we go. Nvidia starting to find support also here. AMD had such a strong decline. Man, I think AMD is the play. I think AMD is the play if we get a if Nasdaq can continue. It's not clear yet, but that's what it looks like. Well, Qs are getting rejected at that level, so it doesn't look like. I mean, we could have a second half, but this morning was not the big run up. Even though we did gap up this morning from better than expected GDP, and then we also saw the yields rise and the dollar rise. But really, all that is noise, and we're looking at the accumulation. We're just watching the accumulation before the second wave, the second bull market wave, or the second FOMO wave. In my view, I think we're gonna get that second FOMO wave. Wow, Carvana. I didn't even realize Carvana moved up so much this morning. Still eating, and then they get sold off. They've been doing this for a while. That's really tough. That's really tough. You got to day trade Carvana, and that's not going to be profitable for a lot of people. Costco with the longest just consolidation after break of a way. I don't like Costco at all. I know a lot of people like that. TSM pulling back into support. We'll see how that plays out. Tesla back at 257. I think we're just consolidating. We'll probably get a big move tomorrow because tomorrow is where's no, that's not it. Tomorrow is PCE data. So also what jobless claims rising? Yeah, there's no way, bro. Jobless claims are picking up a little bit. Pending home sales month on month, negative. Even though we had that big upside move the other day, or a couple weeks ago, a couple months ago. Fed Bostic at 12 p.m. Now that might move the market. So keep your eye out for that at 12 p.m. Fed Bostic. Let's see what else we got. Unemployment rate for the euro area. Core PCE tomorrow. Yeah, this is going to be big. This will be the story. We're probably going to consolidate. Like I said, we had Fed Chair Powell speaking yesterday. GDP, blah blah blah. But this is what we want to see. We want to see the Fed's preferred inflation gauges, where they're at. Michigan consumer sentiment, where that at? Oh, Michigan 5-year inflation expectations. So we're gonna get inflation expectations tomorrow. Consumer expectations for the economy. We're going to get the Fed's preferred inflation gauge year over year, month over month. We're going to get personal spending, personal savings, personal income. So we will find out tomorrow morning. And that doesn't mean we're not going to get a move this afternoon. I think we see a move this afternoon, possibly second half. We'll see how the market really digests all this new GDP stuff. But yeah, personal incomes, personal spending, we'll get a little insight on the consumer and how they're doing. And yeah, until then, I'll see you guys in the morning. I'll be back on in the morning. Catch you guys later. Appreciate the stream. Now I'm going to have my exit music. Get used to doing this. There we go. Can you hear that? Pretty sure you guys can hear that.